So for around 1.5 years ago, I started learning Godot 4. What is Godot 4, you may ask? It's an open source game engine. It's basically Unity, but better. Around half a year ago, I stopped programming completely. Don't ask me why. And one day, around a week ago, I just randomly got an urge to start making games again. And for the first time, I wanted to actually finish a project and publish it to the world. Well, that's easy, I thought. I downloaded Godot from Steam and created a new project. Now, only thing we had to do is to make a game. That's simple. But it didn't take long to realize that the engine has been changed a bit, and I realized that I'm on the newest version, Godot 4, instead of Godot 3, which I'm used to. This made restudying the language even harder, and after regretting my life decisions and learning for 2 days straight, I'm pretty much an expert in Godot. Now, let's actually make the game. First I added capsule mesh, but let's be honest, who calls this a capsule mesh? It's clearly a beam. I gave it a camera and a simple code to move around, but right before I thought that the game was finished, I realized that the game is pretty boring since we don't have anything to do. So I added a simple enemy that navigates through obstacles. Please don't ask me how long did it take, but our enemy is pretty boring and is honestly just a brainless being that follows the player. So I decided to learn Blender and use my fantastic modeling skills to make this. No, you weren't supposed to see that. Yeah, I basically never used Blender in my life, so after learning for like 5 hours, I finally had a working human-shaped character with animations in my game. Now, it's like 10% better looking than it was before, and I'm yet again regretting my life decisions. Then I added these hyper-realistic looking swords in my game that the player can throw. Looking back at this clip, I don't understand how even an idiot like me can make something that stupid. But our game doesn't have a story or a real plot, and I don't even know what type of game will it be. But I decided to forget about that for now, and I remodeled the enemy. Till this day, I think it's the best model I've ever made, so yeah, I know it still sucks. I decided to call him Grölla, who has some type of mental disease. I made Grölla drop a can of beans after he died, which can regenerate your health. I also added 2 weapons, them being pistol and a grenade launcher. Little did I know that the mental disease idea was the start of the type of a game I wanted to make. It didn't take long until I also added scientists in my game. And they definitely just aren't retextured gorillas. I don't know what you're talking about. I also removed the sword from the game because I realized it was completely and utterly shit. The idea of the game was that there's a huge corporation called Warvax that does medical experience to cure uncurable diseases. They started to use humans as test subjects, but one day something terrible happened and every test subject got infected with the gorilla disease. Even I knew that the idea was bad, so I took a small break. One random night, when I was thinking about the game, I came up with somewhat of a good idea actually. I know, it's impossible, but a dumbass like me actually managed to come up with something. The new idea was that you, the player, are a test subject, and the scientists do test with you. So I opened my project and started making the first level. In the first level, I made a button that opens an exit, and you have to place a block on it. I also added a screen that shows you how much time is left. And when I finished the first level, I realized that it's basically Portal. But no, I did not think about Portal when I made this game, so technically it's not inspired by it. I was already too tired to come up with another idea for the game, so I just sticked with it. I made 4 levels in total, and honestly I'm pretty happy with the last one, even though it can be hard for some non-epic gamers like me. Then I added some finishing touches like tutorial text, and I was ready to upload it to itch.io. It was surprisingly simple, and the link to the game is in the description. Keep in mind that it's the very first game I've ever made, and it's pretty bad and buggy. I don't think I will work that much on the project anymore, because I learned so much while making this, and honestly, I can make a lot better game now. But, if this video blows up, I may still work on the game. Feel free to comment what you think about the game, but as I said, while doing that, keep in mind that it's my very first game, and I know the game lacks originality. That's it for me, subscribe.